Alright, this question is from Anaya Hughes in first period. Love this question. Her question is, I can't figure out how to write the rest of the answer as a product of linear factors. So what she's done so far is she has divided what the problem gave her, and she's got this. There's a tiny, tiny, tiny little mistake here, but her work is awesome. So I really love how nice and neat her work is. So everyone shoot for this because this looks great. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to correct the slight numerical error, and then I'll show you because we're going to end up factoring. So we're going to go through the whole shebang. Great opportunity to review anything you forgot. All right, x into 5x to the third power will give me 5x to the second, and then I multiply back so that I can subtract. So we just did our division, then we're going to multiply, then we're going to subtract, then we're going to drop it down, and we're going to bring it around. You guys remember that? So right now we're on the multiply back step. So 5x squared times x is 5x to the third power. 5x squared times 1 is 5x squared times 1 is, yes, that's right, 5x squared. And then now we're going to subtract. All right. And notice that everything here is positive, but when I have a subtraction problem, I want to change it. So I'm going to change this to plus, which will make these two signs change. 5x to the third plus negative 5x to the third will give me 0. Now we're at negative 9 plus negative 5. That is negative 14x squared. Drop it down and bring it around. So now we're back to our division step. So we're doing x into negative 14x squared. So that's going to give me negative 14x, and we're going to multiply back so that we can subtract. So we are going to have negative 14x times x gives me negative 14x squared. Negative 14x times 1 is negative 14x. All right. Don't mind the noise in the background, that's just my dog. Alright, so we're going to change this subtraction problem to an addition problem so we don't make any mistakes. So when we do that, we change the signs in the parentheses to the opposite of whatever they currently are. So negative 14 plus 14 is 0. We know that should happen. Negative 6x plus 14x will give us 8x, and then we drop down our plus 8. Alright, so we did the divide, multiply, subtract, drop it down, and start again. So now we're doing 8x into x, which gives me 8. Alright, 8 times x, 8x, 8 times 1, 8, and now we're going to subtract. So when we do that, this changes, and our remainder is 0. So remember, that means that x plus 1 was a linear factor. So she already has that written over here on her paper. She's just trying to figure out what the rest of this is. So she's got that tiny, tiny, tiny little mistake right here, and then that threw off her having a 7 there versus my 8. Alright, so if you're kind of working through this with me, you might want to pause the video because I'm going to erase some of this and show you now what to do. Alright. So we did all that awesome work. Alright, and remember what this means. This means that we have x plus 1 times 5x squared minus 14x plus 8 left. And so the Khan Academy assignment says listed as linear factors, so clearly we need to break this down. Well, when we look at that, we should go, wait a second, I know how to factor that. And so our factoring is going to be 5 times 8, which is 40, and then our add number is going to be negative 14. So what's going to happen is we're going to figure out what two numbers work in this t-chart, and then we're going to move to factoring by grouping. Alright, 1 times 40, 2 times 20, 3, 4 times 10, 5 times 8. Clearly it's 4 and 10, and if I make them both negative, they still work. So negative 4 times negative 10 gives me that positive 40, and negative 4 minus 10 gives me the negative 14 I need. So here's where we might need a little review, right? So now we're going to take this expression and factor by grouping. So I'm going to bring down that 5x squared, and then I'm going to split negative 14x into my two numbers. So negative 4x and negative 10x, because this still equals that. So we're still good. We're doing good. All right, now we're going to plus 8. So I just brought these two terms down. All right, now we factor by grouping. So we're going to group this, and we're going to group this. And now we're going to look for a GCF. Clearly my GCF of the first parentheses right here is x. So I'm going to divide out an x from each term. I'm going to be left with 5x minus 4. Remember, your goal in factoring by grouping is to factor out GCFs and then get a binomial that matches. So while I'm looking right here, I'm kind of starting to notice I should probably take out a negative number, because this is negative and this is positive, and that needs to match this eventually. So looking at negative 10 and 8, my GCF is 2, but I'm going to make it a negative 2, and you'll see why in a second. So we're going to divide out that negative 2 from both terms. Negative 10x divided by negative 2 is 5x, and 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. So now we know we're doing good because these guys match. So when we do that, we factor out that binomial one time, and what are we left with? X minus 2. Now remember, she is going to take this expression and put it here. So her full answer is x plus 1, the first factor she figured out, then 5x minus 4, x minus 2. It doesn't matter the order you put your linear factors in, it will